Welcome to Reset to Healthier Relationships, Sunday night at 9. I am your host, Coach Glenda, here with my course manager, Coach Carpenter. We are so glad that you decided to sacrifice your Sunday night at 9 to participate in our live open discussion. Tonight, we have another amazing topic. The topic is, have you ever wished you could take that relationship back? Did you think of it as a loss or a lesson? Now, for myself, the old Glenda before reset, I would say that I wish I could take all of them back. And they were all losses. But the reset Glenda, I think that I would keep it the way it is because it was a lesson well learned. So if you have input tonight, you want to share your thoughts, your comments, your concerns, we want you to dive in tonight on tonight's topic. Ever wish you could take that relationship back? Do you look at it as a loss or do you look at it as a lesson? Coach Carpenter?
Good evening, everybody. Once again, thanks for being here this Sunday night at 9. The night's lesson is a good one. Ever wish you could take that relationship back? Loss or lesson? We all said that. We wish we could take that relationship back. Sometimes they wish we could take the S back, but we wish we could take the relationship back. And we said for many reasons. Sometimes because we look at it as a loss. What did it take from us? What did it cost us? How did we lose ourselves in it? Was it a boundary or was it we stayed too long? So we start looking at it that way. And then when you count the cost of that relationship, that's when you start asking yourself, I wish I could take that back. But relationships grow us, and some of them are both lessons and losses. So, okay, Linda, let's have a great night tonight with this one.
All right, so we're going to start out by, let's see, did anybody want to share any comments right out the gate about if they felt like they had a relationship that they wish they could take back? Did anybody want to come off mute? Did anybody want to share any words? Give me a half a second here. Okay, you got it. All right, thanks. Again, tonight's topic is, have you ever wished you could take that relationship back? Did you see it as a loss or a lesson? That is tonight's topic. So if you wanted to come off mute and share any thoughts on the topic, or if you decided or realized there was a few relationships that you wish you could take back, I want you to feel free to come off mute and share your comments.
Yes, I'll start us out because when you say you ever had a relationship you wish you could take back, loss or lesson, we want to make sure you understand the goal is not pretend that a relationship didn't hurt you. Because a lot of times when it's a relationship you don't want, sometimes you got hurt. Sometimes you get hurt. But we want to let you know you don't have to let that relationship keep robbing you of your future. Let that relationship be a lesson going into your future, not robbing you of your future. So when you look at a relationship you want to take back, yes, you might want to take it back, but the lesson you got from that, move forward into your future with that. Don't let it rob you of your future. So that's what I want to let you know. Yes, it may hurt. It may have hurt you during the time, but you're a better person for it now because you're not the same person you were back then now because you have a better understanding. You have more wisdom, more knowledge, more know-how, more skills, more time around the block. There you go.
Okay, so what do you really want to take back? I think Mr. Carpenter was saying, take back the years invested, take
Mm-hmm.
back the opportunities missed, the money spent. I know that's a big one right there. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's huge. The money that, you invested into someone that they didn't invest back into you, the trust that was broken, you gave all this
Mm-hmm.
trust, and in return, you were hurt, disappointed, and they lied to you constantly. The confidence that was weakened, the relationship with your family and friends, say it was a bad relationship. that cause conflict with your friends and family, that those are the relationships you want to take back. But at the end of the day, I think the big question is, do you look at it as a loss today, or do you look at it as a lesson learned? Because before we started tonight, the question was asked to me, and I said, the old Glenda would say, there's a lot of relationships I would love to take back. But the coach Glenda, the 2026 Glenda, I look at it as if I'll keep all of them because I am the person I am today because of those experiences, those bad relationships, and I look at it as all lessons learned. So I don't look at it any longer as a loss. I look at it as a lesson learned because I am a better person because of what I went through. Some things I felt like I shouldn't have went through. I would love to take those little pieces back. But at the same time, I know that as of today, I'm able to help somebody else because of the experiences that I went through. So that's why I look at it as a lesson versus a loss.
So I guess I hear you saying, Glenda, you promised tonight before this podcast, communication, this session, this coaching is over tonight that we'll be able to name what it actually cost us. We'll be able to say this is what it actually cost us in terms of relationship we wish you could take back. We'll recognize the experience it taught us. We'll actually recognize what we gained by way of that learning or that lesson or that testimony. Mm-hmm. And most importantly, we'll stop blaming ourselves. Because a lot of times when you say a relationship we should take back, you say, me and my dumb A, I did it again. So we want you to stop blaming yourself. So that's one thing. And then plus, the most important thing, you will not repeat that SH again. You would not do that same mistake again. So that's very, very important. And then you gotta return those regrets into healthy standards. If you stay too long, you gotta know when to pull the trigger. If it costs you too much money, you gotta know how to manage your own pocketbook instead of letting it be in somebody else's pocketbook a while. And then you gotta take one practical step towards rising. You gotta put some kind of boundaries or some kind of guardrails or some kind of fences in place so it don't happen again. So tonight, if we can walk away with these few things I just said, I think the night will be a golden success for us all. So let's go through with that. So I'm glad you all checked in tonight. I'm glad you're here because this is going to be a good one. This is one you can participate in because we all have regrets. Yeah. And not all relationships were stellar. Not all relationships somebody we're going to love forever and a day. Right. So we all got something we can share tonight. Also, let me start us out, everybody. Once again, good evening, everybody. This is your time. This is your place. This is your time for healing. Coach Glenda's on hand today. Your rising woman. She's here just for this hour to be with you, to give you some guidelines about relationships you wish you could take back, whether it was a loss or lesson. She's going to help us interpret some of that. And we're going to walk away knowing that we have our healing. Tonight, we're going to talk about something that few of us are afraid to admit. If you asked me other than tonight, if I had a relationship I wish I could take back, I'd probably say no. But since in this setting, I promise that, I'm going to be straightful and I'm going to be transparent. So yes, the answer would be yes. I have a lot of them I wish to take back. But that's we'll go through that a little later on. We've lost time in relationships. Relationship you wish you take back, you can't take the time back. You lost it. It's gone. Like Coach Glenda said, your rising woman, money. What did it actually cost you financially? Coach Glenda and I have talked about horror stories where people have lent their boyfriend or their girlfriend money with the idea that they're helping them and we get it back. And that boyfriend or girlfriend that received the money saw it as a gift. No intentions of giving it back. Right. When they asked you and said, loan me this and I'll give it back, no intentions of giving it back. They saw it as a gift. They saw, hey, you love me. Hey, you finance me. It's all the same. And in your heart, in your mind, you're saying, well, Dad, I did it because I love you, thinking that I'm gonna get it back. Wrong answer. It's gone. My dad taught me a long time ago as a son. He said, son, you can't afford to loan anybody any money you can't afford to lose. If you can be okay with not getting it back, you can loan it to them.
Right.
Or hurt you because you didn't get it back, keep your money in your own wallet or your own pocket.
Right.
Okay. So those are some of the things we talk about. And also one of the biggest things I know when a relationship goes sour or don't go right, you lose your confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Was I man or woman enough? Did I do the right thing? Did I make the wrong mistakes? Did I push too much? Did I give too much? Did I held back too much? These are all the things we're going to talk about tonight. But I just want to get us started so everybody know where we're headed with this. Feel free to jump in. It's going to be a beautiful night because we all may have some regrets. As a matter of fact, this is a good chat time. Put in the chat one word that describes when you think about relationship. When you think about relationship, you wish you could take back. Put in one word you wish you could in the chat that you wish you could get back. When you think about, have you ever had a relationship you wish you could take back? What one thing about that relationship that comes to your mind that you wish you could take back?
Can we use any of the ones we mentioned before, or we have to come up with something totally new?
Their choice. They can put anything they want to put in there.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Because and then after you get that, I'll give you my list. I got a long list. Each time I got a relationship, I wish I could take something back. There was a new list because I was good. I was good with let's say the first thing come up money. I good because like if I gave too freely with my money, if I led with my money and my rap game was my money, then the second time I said, oh, not giving no money. So I didn't lose my money. I lost something else last time. So we got another couple minutes, and then we'll run down what's in there, and then I'll run down my list of things I wish I could take back. I saw a good one. So somebody just put one self.
Yep.
Self. I saw a paycheck. Yeah, that was me. No, I didn't go as far as my paycheck, but I did a lot of rent money. No, I didn't give my paycheck up, but I gave a lot of rent money up.
Rich.
Yes, indeed, sir. Yes, indeed. Glad to see you here tonight, sir. But
Glad
yeah,
to see you
a lot
too.
of rent money up. Okay. All right. Here, let me give you some. And if you put this in the chat, that's great. Some of the things that I wish I had done. First, regret. Man, I wish I regretted. Some of them I regretted. Some of them, the lesson was so deep and so severe, I regret. I regret having to go through that. Some of them was relief. I was glad it was over. Woo, Jesus. I was glad. I was glad when it was done. I was glad when it was over. You know, like people say when you get a boat, the two best times you get a boat is when you buy it and when you sell it. That's the way I was in a relationship. The best time I got in a relationship and the next best time when I got out of the relationship. And you know, it's funny now that I say that, but it was true. Okay. It was anger. Anger was one of my biggest things. I used to get mad. And you know, I didn't get mad with other person. I got mad with myself.
Okay.
I would say, me and my dumb butt, what in the world? I ain't gonna never do that again. Now I'm not one to kind of beat myself up and all that kind of stuff, but I did say myself, I'll never get with that I'll never do that again. And here's a good one. Here's one of the biggest ones that happened to me: embarrassment. Let me tell you why I say embarrassment. You know, you ever took in your boyfriend or girlfriend around to your family, and they said, "What in the hell?" And they act real friendly. They act real friendly with the girl or the guy in front of you and them, your family. They act real friendly. But they get you off in the corner. What in the hell you see now? Don't bring that one over here no more. I mean, straight up embarrassing. I should say I ain't gonna tell you this one. Maybe towards the end I'll tell you this one. And where I was embarrassed was, I'll tell you that maybe towards the end if you ask me, Coach, or someone asked me. I'll tell you about my most embarrassing moment with a girlfriend, a relationship.
Okay.
Next, grief. sometimes when you lose a relationship, when you take a relationship you wish you could take back and you lose it, and that lesson you got, and that lesson, you start grieving. You said, man, Jesus, this took this, and I think Annette said it, self. You grieve because you lost self. Self is gone. You know how they used to say you knee high to a grasshopper? When you're down, you lost self. So that's a grieving process.
Right. I get it.
I've lost freedom in relationships. For some reason, I'm a marshmallow. When I get with women, they just, Rufus, do this, Rufus, do that, Rufus needs you this, Rufus needs you that. And I just, okay. 3 bags full. So I lose self, that freedom. Another good one. Here's another good one. Confusion. I had a girlfriend once in a relationship I wish to take back. I didn't know whether I was doing good or I didn't know I was doing bad. I couldn't tell. When I did well, she mumbled and grumbled. When I did bad, she mumbled and grumbled. When I didn't do anything, she mumbled and grumbled. So I was just confused. I just threw my hands in the air. I didn't know what to do. So, and I'm gonna give you one more, and then I'll let you take it, Coach, for a minute. Gratitude. And I wish I could take one back that I let go. Gratitude, because that person was a true great person. I wish I could have kept the relationship longer. I wish we could have carried through. So I was just grateful that I was part of that relationship. That's my list. Anyone else want to give their list of their ones or twosies?
You did a lot for all of us tonight.
Hey, I'm 72. I've been through some relationships. Trust me.
I understand. Did anybody else want to share any comments or provide some feedback, their own personal losses or lessons they learned in their past relationships? The floor is yours.
Good evening. I thought about one as far as being able to expression. I lost my personal expression, and in doing that was I knew there were times when I needed to express myself in a particular way that I chose, but I held that back. I didn't do that because of the expected outcomes of that. Right. So I lost self-expression. I didn't lose self-confidence because I always had my confidence, but I held things back in order to hold the relationship in the manner that it was going, or trying to not rock the boat, or per se, or something like that. So sure, I lost money and time, as Coach Glenda has up there, but I learned some things. I learned to who I was. The relationship taught me to stand for who I was, and to not diminish myself or for someone else. Don't make myself look small for someone else to look big.
That's right.
I learned that type of thing. So in those relationships or whatever that I had, I can say when it wasn't going the way I hoped or needed it to go, in order for flourishment, I should have identified that. So I should have never allowed a relationship to make me lose my voice.
Right.
Or I should always be able to relay that type of thing. And I also needed to learn how to, because there were things done or said that criticized me vocally, and I didn't stand to be my own shield. I didn't stand to say, hold up, wait a minute. I'm not going to accept this, or you're not going to treat me like that. You know, I just went along, I guess, what is the word, melancholy or something, you know, just allowing things to just go that way when I knew it shouldn't have. So all in all, I wouldn't want to relive that, but I had some wonderful experiences in between. But I thought those experiences was greater than me. I thought they were. I allowed them to be what I thought I needed to keep. So I kept myself shallow in order that I could experience those things, which I shouldn't have done. So I needed to learn those things, and I learned that. I think I was too young for that kind of stuff, you know? I think I didn't, I think I wasn't mature enough for what the relationship required of me. Now that's kind of deep for me, because I mean, I felt like as far as the male woman thing, I could handle that. But as far as the mental stuff, I think I needed more. I should have had help to know how to maneuver, how to manage, what to do in this relationship. You know, I didn't have the maturity enough or understand enough to say, hey, walk away, end this, get out, move. You know, it's not for you, it's above you. But you know what I want to say, what I really learned most in those relationships was at those times, I thought the person was bad. You know, that was a bad person. You know, they doing bad things. No, what I learned was that person was that person. It's just that that person wasn't the person for me.
Bingo.
Wow.
They weren't giving what I needed. They were for they weren't the bad. It's just that they just didn't have what it took for me. I was on a higher level and failed to realize that. So I can't blame them. I look at myself and I laugh at it now and think, woo wee, girl, you were so crazy. You know, you should have did this for that, but you did. So that's all I can say.
You know,
You brought up a lot of good points, Coach Carpenter. I apologize. You brought up a lot of good points. And I remember my brother telling me years ago when I had first moved to Georgia, and I probably went to maybe 2 or 3 bad relationships. He said, Glenda, don't let nobody stop you from being who you are. So more or less, don't change to accommodate other people. He said, because they just may not be on your level and they may not be meant for you. And I had to learn to accept that, because I used to think, you know, what is wrong with me? It's really nothing wrong with me. They wasn't the one for me. They wasn't a bad person. They just wasn't a person for me. And I wasn't a bad person. You know, I did entertain them for too long. So that was my boo-boo or my hiccup or my issue. But outside of being who I am, eventually the Lord will put somebody in your face or in front of you that is worthy for everything that you're giving, and they'll be able to give it back to you. So I mean, it took over 26 years to get Mr., but eventually I did get him, but I had to go through a whole bunch of sap suckers, a bunch of lemons before I got to my ultimate prize. But like I said, my brother had to tell me years ago, don't let nobody stop you from being who you are. So if you're a giver, continue to give. Just pull the plug a little quicker in these relationships when you notice that you're not getting what you need.
you know, I listened to both you and Annette speak. You know, and I realize there's times when, especially because the topic tonight is, ever wish you could take a relationship back? Ever wish you could take that relationship back? Lost a lesson. That's the title for tonight. And when I listen to you and it speak, and I know, and I put myself in that equation, I know there's times when I didn't recognize the person I saw in the mirror that was brushing their teeth with my toothbrush. I didn't recognize that person because the relationships I was going through, that relationship I went through, I couldn't realize who I was in that. You know, like I said earlier, relationship I had confusion. There's times when I lost who I was. I looked in the mirror and didn't understand who that person was anymore that was looking back at me. And those relationships can do that to you. So let's take a moment to break this down in one session. Let's say, what do we really wish we could take back in a relationship? What do we really wish we want to take back in a relationship? I know sometimes you say you could take that relationship back. Mm-hmm. That's easy to say. But what do you really want to take back? Tell me something in that relationship you really want to take back.
I want my time back.
Okay, wasted years, that's one thing. And maybe wasted years, maybe a missed opportunity.
Yes.
Because you could have been entertaining Mrs. Wrong, and Mrs. Right said, that fool got his hand full, I'm gonna go find somebody else. See, so it's, what is it that you really want you to take back? Not the relationship. What out of that relationship you could take back? What did it actually cost you? Okay, years, invested years, opportunity missed. Somebody said money early, the money spent. Somebody said women probably want their money back. Yep, they want money back, right. And Annette said in her thing, she said she never lost confidence. A lot of people, confidence is weakened in relationship. They may not lose it, but it's weakened. They're not that oak tree they were at first. Now they might be a little pine or a little sapling now. They may not be that solid oak anymore because they lost some confidence. Not all confidence, but some confidence, okay? Relationship, friends, and family. A lot of times, your friends and family can see that you're boo-boo the fool with this person. And they can see the person using you. They can see the person taking your resources. And you can't see it, but your friends and family can see it. And a lot of times, they say they don't want no parts of that. If he or she gonna bring Sally Sue or Jim Bob over my house and think I'm gonna entertain them, no way. I just stop being her friend or his friend. So that's something you lose. And Annette said earlier, visions of yourself, or versions of yourself, you lose.
Versions.
So that's very important. Let me ask you one question. If you could recover one thing that your relationship cost you, you could recover one thing that relationship cost you, what would it be? One thing. If you could recover one thing, what would it be? Now, you may not be able to recoup the dollars in the years. We already know that. You can't recoup the opportunity. They gone. The money spent, you never get it back. The years gone. The years spent, you can't never get it back. Opportunity, you can't never get the opportunity back. That's gone. But what can you begin to recover? What can you recover, though? Give me something that you can recover. I saw something come up in chat, but it was too fast. I couldn't read it. What can you recover? You can't say, I get my money back, because that's gone. You can't get your time back, that's gone. Opportunity's gone. What can you actually recover? What could it actually be? So I think I said novelty. And novelty, I need you to explain innocence, sir. Can you explain those two for me, please? Because I think I know, but I don't want to say it wrongly.
What I was trying to say is I think sometimes before people get in these toxic relationships, I think they have a pure version of themselves when they're naive to the world. Even though people don't want to be naive, imagine how good you felt about yourself when you were naive, when you didn't understand all of those toxic things about the world. You had a better feeling, I guess, about yourself before you started realizing that the snake actually bites.
That's it. That's the number one answer, sense of self. That's one of the number one answers. If we were doing that Jeopardy or whatever it is, give it the number one. That's the number one answer, sense of self. Voice, you lose your voice. You're not as vocal as you used to be. Well, not as positively vocal as you used to be. You may be more vocal, hell no, but you're not more vocal as you are peace. You lose your peace. Gigi used to say peace. If I could just have my peace. She's not here tonight, but she normally say my peace. I don't want anybody to take my peace. I always say my joy. I don't want anybody taking my joy. Your standards. Your standards. So these are the things that we're talking about. And regret, when people say, I regret, when you have emotional regrets in a relationship, what does it sound like? When you emotionally regret a relationship that you wish you could take back, what does it actually sound like? What are some of the words we say? Sometimes people disconnect from God when they have had that's right. They disconnect from God because they felt that, hey, yep, they felt that that's there. But sometimes people say, I should have known better. That's regret number one. I should have known better.
They usually say that when they come back around to themselves, when everything starts to calm down. He said, after they hated everybody, hated the person, hate God for putting them in that position, they usually come back and say, I should have known better. Lord, forgive me. I should have known better. I saw all the signs ahead of time, but I ignored it.
Yep. So, I'm going to give you about 4 more, and then tell me which one of these you identify with. And you can come off your mic and tell me which one you identify. I'm going to give you about 4 of them first.
Okay.
The first one is, I saw all the signs. I'll give you another one instead of that one. Okay, why did I stay? Why did I stay? That's one. Then why did I keep forgiving? Why did I keep forgiving those persons? Why did I keep forgiving? Each time they mess up, I always forgave. Why did I keep forgiving? I waste the best years of my life. That's what people tell me. When I break with somebody, that's what they tell me. I waste you. They don't say I. They say you waste the best years of my life. And then I cannot believe it happened that way. I can't believe it happened to me. I can't believe it happened like that. Which one of those? And I'll say them again. Then why did I stay? I wasted the best years of my life, or you wasted the best years of my life. I cannot believe it happened like that, or that happened to me.
True. Oh, good.
Which ones do you identify the most? You want to go first, Coach?
I mean, they all were good. I can relate to all of them.
Really?
I think why did I stay will probably be at the top. And, because why did I stay and why, because that leads up to why did it happen that way? Because if I would have left earlier, it wouldn't have played out that way.
Correct. Okay, you're smiling. Somebody must put some good in the chat. Read it for us.
You're so funny. Give me a second. Let's see. Give me a second. My screen is a little small. It says, why did I stay? Or why did I stay? Is at the top of my list. And we got, but I guess to reframe the question, what should have been the first statement that had priority? What does that mean, mister?
That's what I'm saying is he said 4 really good statements.
Right.
And I think each of those statements could have value in a person's life. But I guess we have to prioritize which of those should have been the first question that we asked versus the one that we wish, I guess, what we regretted the most. Probably what should have been the first question or statement that should have been made.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I asked the questions I did about that, and I asked what regrets really sound like, because like I said, you can't take your money back, you can't take your dollars back, can't take your opportunity back, you can't take the time back. But I said that because if we were the coach right now, the coaching truth would be is that regret keeps you arguing with the time of the past. And when you're regretting something that happened in the past that's gone. That's no longer be there again. It's gone. It's gone. You're regretting with something you can't take back. You can't change. Right. It's history.
You're right.
But you're still regretting that.
Mm-hmm.
And the decision you're regretting is something that was based way back then. You were a different person then. You're not the same person you are now. It was a different time. What you hope would have happened didn't happen.
Right.
That's history. What were you afraid of losing? The fear of losing. Sometimes, how people get scammed today is because they tell them they know people want something for nothing. And they know people are afraid to lose. Mm-hmm. And they know people are more concerned about what they fear than what they want. And that's why they're so easy to get scammed. Because of that. So when we start thinking about something we can't take back, we start talking about what we lost, we can't get it back.
Right.
Let's move forward. Let's let that be a lesson to take us forward.
Coach Carpenter, can I read one of the examples for tonight?
Please. I'm sorry, I got carried away. This is something I know a lot about. I apologize. I know a lot about this. Put in it.
Before we do that, can I say something? So I think for me, what I always thought was I could change things. I could make things be the way I in my head wanted them to be. But I had someone tell me before, and it was my father. It was, I think, one of the best things he ever told me in his life was that, and my relationships was with men, is that, and that I don't care what it is you want. A man is going to do what a man wants to do until a man wants to change. He said, you can't make a man change. And he said, I don't care what it is you do. He will not change until he decides to change.
My mama told me the same thing.
See, I didn't take that to heart. However, I learned exactly what he was saying. Life taught me he knew exactly what he was saying. That was the best advice. So yeah.
And see, our youth today, our young adults, our young ladies, and our young men, they need to hear that, because that is so true. And it could, if you heard earlier in life, a lot of the heartbreak and disappointments that we experience in relationships as we grow old, some of this stuff wouldn't even be happening. Because like we said in many episodes before, they're not talking about this in church. They're not talking about this at home. They're not even talking about this at school. People, these young adults, these young men and women, they're learning about relationships through trial and error. This stuff right here on Reset, and I'm not just talking about Reset per se, because I know there are other platforms, but this is where we are tonight. This is real talk. This is every day. This is what, I've been through. Coach Carpenter's been through. The young lady that just spoke. I mean, all the participants, these are real life people that have gone through these issues, these bad relationships, and have learning experiences from them. And we do need as a whole to get the word out there, or constantly keep, speaking to our young ladies and telling them, these relationships, it's all cute and it feels good, he says the right thing. But when your heart gets broken and you start to feel like, oh, I thought I could change him, or I thought if I gave this, or I thought I did, that waiting to exhale thing, you invested 11 years to end up in a divorce, these kids, these men and women, young adults need to know that you have options and you can't change another grown person. The grown person has to want to change for themselves. And I didn't hear that comment from my mom that the participant just stated until I was going through my divorce with my first husband. She said, Glenda, you can't make a man do nothing. He's going to have to want to do it for himself. And I had already fell down and bust my head down to the white meat before she told me that. Because I felt like I could fix the problem. Until I said, I can't even do it no more. I don't have the energy or the time. And it started to affect my children. And I had 2 boys. So I had to find a way of escape, because it was going to mess them up worse than what it had already. But you hit the nail on the head. You can't make a grown person do nothing until they want to do it. And your dad gave you the best advice, because I held it to heart.
Can I say something?
Absolutely. Yes, beautiful.
Yes. Thank you. Another aspect of it, and this is in listening to the young adults that I am around constantly, I need them to know that they don't have to pay for a man.
No.
You don't have to give a man money to keep him. You don't have to buy him shoes, put gas in his car, take him out to eat, bring him food. That's some things that he needs to do for you. But what I'm seeing is they're taking their hard-earned money and spending it on these men, and they don't have things to sustain during the week. So, I need them to know that you don't have to do that.
Right.
If you got to spend your money, then baby, you need to move on because you'll have your whole check.
He sure will.
No, if Coach Glenda, if you let me come on to Gigi, because Gigi just hit a big something in my way of thinking, because and this is very important here, and I want to say it the right way. You know, a lot of times when you're grieving a relationship, when you're grieving a relationship, or you're in a relationship, or you say it's when you say ever wish you could take that relationship back, lesson or loss, when you say that, what you're actually grieving and what you're actually talking about is what you wish the relationship could have been. You actually wish that what you wish the relationship could have been. Because when Gigi said women are paying gas money, doing all that, they're looking for what the relationship could be. They're looking for what they think the relationship could be in the future. They're looking at what they thought it could be. And the 4 lessons you learn from a relationship, the 4 things that you learn, or the 4 lessons you can get from a relationship. The first one is it reveals unhealed needs. It reveals unhealed needs. Let's say perhaps you have a problem and you feel you need to be loved. And instead of people giving you love, you want to earn it, you want to buy it, you want to prove it, like Gigi just said. You don't want to put gas in somebody's tank, you want to put money in their pocket, or you want to babysit, or you want to be accessible every time they want you to be accessible, or you look the other way when you shouldn't look the other way, or rescue all the time. Whenever they have an issue, you go rescue them. You get your duct tape, your dollar bills, and all that, and go rescue this fool. You know, that's one of the problems right there. Another problem is it exposed patterns in relationships. All relationship patterns aren't healthy. All of them aren't. You know, and you got to realize something. If the person you're dating or trying to be with or in a relationship with, and they're inconsistent, and they're always giving you like excuses, and you start accepting them, and they're over functioning, or the chemistry is unbalanced, or they're not compatible with you, and you're going to stay there and fix it and try to make it work because you, in your mind, you say the relationship can be better in the future if I do this, I can do that. It's a lesson there. You need to learn that lesson and move on. You need to learn that lesson and move on. You know, when you wish you had a relationship that you could take back, or lesson or loss, it helped you create new standards. A long time ago, when we first started Sunday Night at 9, we had a runway. We talked about non-negotiables, and we talked about your boundaries. We talked about the boundaries you set for the other person, the boundaries you set for yourself. This is that 101. If you wish you could take something back, lesson you learn, relationship boundaries. If you gave money and you broke, and that person going on to the next boyfriend or girlfriend and you broke, lesson, keep your money in your own pocket. Keep your money in your own pocketbook. Don't finance love for somebody else.
Right. Correct.
You know, so those are the type of things we're talking about, new standards. Don't be overgiving. You know, hey, if this fool show you that he's a fool or she's a fool, and they're never consistent, they're always takers, believe them, believe it. Leave them right where they're at, and you get your little marbles and get your little bakeware or whatever you took over there and go home. And leave them alone, because if you don't, it's going to be a lesson you're going to learn that's going to be hard. Just think about it. If you had a major pocketbook, a major bank, and you gave it to somebody with thinking that you can give it back, they're going to give it back, and they never gave it back. Now you broke, and they didn't squander the money because the money you gave them, they didn't do nothing positive with it. So it went, just as fast as you gave it to them, it went through them. So now they don't have the money and you broke. So the lesson you learn, keep your money in your own wallet, your own pocketbook. Okay? Those are the things that I wish you, that when you talk about learning a lesson from a relationship, those are the things that I wish you realize that you're being taught in those relationships you wish you could take back. Those are the lessons. I'm sorry, Coach. But when Gigi said that, Gigi just Gigi just brought all that out of me. For some reason, Gigi has that secret sauce. Just brings stuff right out of me.
That's all right. That's okay. That's called that. We love your participation. We love your feedback and your comments. Someone put in the chat, a friend told me it's easier said than done. I said, keep your coins. And she replied, you're not the one sitting at home alone. So I guess it's perspective. See, that sounds, the person that put that comment in the chat, that sounds like the person that you were talking to, she's trying to buy love in all the wrong places.
Well, I don't know. If I'm sitting home on top of my coins and I got 100,000, a couple 100,000, or $500,000, or 500,000, and I'm home alone, I may be alone, but I ain't broke.
Got that right. Right. So it's not like
I'm
I said,
home and in peace.
I'm trying to tell you.
What'd you say? Would you say that again?
I'm home and I'm in peace.
That's right. Your peace is more important to you, because the person in the comment that was made, to me it sounds as if she's financing this dude, or the person is financing the dude, because apparently he needs you more than you need him, because you're the one with the bank and he's not. So if I'm home alone with my coins or my stacks of paper, I would think I'd be doing better. I would be doing better than the next person. Sometimes we have to realize as individuals, it is nothing wrong with being by yourself. We have to learn how to accept our present situation so God can allow the right person to come into our lives. You can't keep entertaining bad company and think that you're going to be blessed, or think that they're going to come around, or what you're doing is going to change them for the better. No, what they're going to do is they're going to keep taking from you, and before you know it, you're either the light bulb is going to go off and you're going to realize that you giving to someone that's not giving back to you, and they may move on to somebody else, and then you're going to feel like, oh my goodness, I gave all of this, I did XYZ, and look what just happened. He's telling me that he's moving on with somebody else, and I've been financing him. You're not going to be able to take that, and you're going to really be in your feelings at that point. So sometimes being at home with a bank account full of money is a good thing, and you need to look at it as a good thing. You don't buy friends. You are the prize. They're not. They need you. You don't need them.
You're right, and I understand what that person said, that that they're lonely and that this case. When and back in the day, and I used to be rolling in the money. I thought I was helping people, and I thought I was taking care of people. And about 5 years ago, I had a stash. I had a little attache case that was locked all the time. And in that, I went through it because I had looked in it for years. And I opened it up. And I looked through it. I had a lot of receipts in there, a lot of IOU from people that borrowed money from me, $3,000, $5,000, $2,000. All that people borrowed money from me, lovers that I had that borrowed money from me, and not one got paid back. Not a one. And I said, wow. That's when I said, me and my dumb butt. I used to leave my money back then. And that was a lesson I had to learn the hard way. And sometimes when you're rolling the money, it don't seem like much. Mm-hmm. But when your coins start getting a little narrow and a little thin, that's when you go back and you say, whoa.
I heard somebody tell me that money replenish itself. And I guess in your situation, it didn't replenish as fast as you wanted it to.
Yeah, not giving it out fast as I was giving it out. It was a hole. You know that song, there's a hole in the bucket? There was a hole in the bucket.
Tape couldn't fix that.
Not that one. They didn't have Gorilla Zoo and Toxic, and they didn't have all that. They didn't have all that then. I'm sorry. I just had to get that in there. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Coach. Go ahead.
Okay, no problem. It's all in good fun. All right, so I'm gonna read one of the examples tonight since we're like at 10 minutes before cutting off. The woman who lost herself. She stopped seeing friends, neglected her goals, and centered her life around relationship. Her new standard is that healthy love must leave room for identity, purpose, and community. I'm going to read it again. The woman who lost herself. She stopped seeing friends, neglected her goals, and centered her life around relationships. Her new standard is that healthy love must leave room for identity, purpose, and community.
That's a lot. That's a lot there. I'll say what that means to me, and then everybody else can get a chance to look at that.
Okay.
You know, when she says she lost herself in it and says to leave room for community, I guess where I take this is that she was so into this one person, this one relationship, that she closed everybody else out.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the relationship was over, she didn't have nobody but herself.
Right.
And she couldn't blame nobody but herself.
Right.
Because she had closed the whole world off. And then you talking about being lonely? When you've closed everybody else off because you want to stay with this one person and this person cut you loose and you don't have nobody to fall back on, nobody that you communicate with on a daily basis or constantly, that's when it's lost. You're right. I was told by another counselor coach, women need women friends, men need men friends. So you need friends. Other than who you're dating. And I'm not talking, you need friends. You need to socialize with people. So community is big. What did anybody else take away from that? From that one? Anybody else take anything for example?
I love my friends. And in a relationship, if he doesn't have any friends, I invite him to find some because sometimes I want to be alone.
Well stated. I like that. Well stated. Well stated, because you have confidence in him and in yourself. That's awesome.
Yes, I will agree. And it's nothing wrong with a small break. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Anna.
I would think really truly being in a relationship, healthy relationship, is difficult because it requires you to have your independency in your relationship, but it also requires you to be yourself. And I think that would be kind of hard because you do want your intimacy, your privacy, or whatever with your mate or your partner or whomever. And you want to include your friends, and then you want to exclude your friends. You want your community in, and you don't want your community in. I think it's kind of hard. I'm not in that type of relationship, so I don't know, thank God. But I think I would need a pastor or a coach. I think I need everybody to tell me what to do because I just can't see how, in today's time, I think realistically, it would be difficult maintaining your relationship because I think people get jealous. I would get jealous of my mate spending a whole lot of time away from me, or when I want time and that person's not able to give me that time, or that person needs my time and I'm not able to give them that time. My children might need me. My church might need me. My job might need me. I just find it difficult to really see how the ideal relationship works.
You have to have some type of balance, but I do understand what you're saying.
Wait a minute, somebody else was saying something before you, Coach. Give me someone else before you said it. Who else was speaking before Coach Linda came on?
That was me.
Okay, what were you saying, Annette?
I was just getting ready to say the give and take in it is difficult.
Okay, Coach Linda.
No, I can honestly understand what she's saying because there has to be some balance. Because, when it comes to doing things for the church, your community, your family, and then your spouse or your partner, it does take a lot of balance, and you have to be structured, and stuff has to be scheduled. But your friends and family's supposed to be able to accept, okay, she's married now, she's no longer single, so the things that she used to do, she can't do anymore. Doesn't mean that I can't be your friend and we can't hang out. It's just that where we used to go out twice a month, it may go down to once a month or once every other month. And then your partner supposed to understand, I can't have all her time, because before there was a you and her, and what drawed me to her or drawed me to him, I don't want to take that away from her and just smother her. Because I don't know anybody that likes to be smothered. So there has to be some balance. He or she has to respect the other person when it comes time for them to be with their friends and family, and vice versa. So it is hard. Trust me, I experience it on a daily basis. It is hard, but as long as you stay open and honest in your communication, honey, I need a break. I'm going out with such and such. We're going to the outlets. We'll be back before dark or whatever. Hey, it's not something that happens every weekend. It's not something that happens, twice a month. It could happen once every 3 months or however. But the other party should be able to be like, okay, that must means that they need this time. If I want a happy life at home, I need to give her I need to give her some time to herself. That gives her a time, he or she some time to regroup, get their thoughts together, and be better for their relationship. As long as I get a break, I'm good.
Footnote: if you're listening to this by way of YouTube, this is a great time to let you know that hit the bell, subscribe, and follow us, and that way you'll be notified whenever we put a new posting. But this is a post we have put in the past. I asked the question that Annette just raised. I asked that you go back to our past YouTube, the one that was on attachment styles. We had a attachment style episode. Look at that episode, because that episode will actually clear up what we just went through just right now. This is an attachment style lesson that we need to go back and look at that one. That YouTube attachment styles will really help you out a lot, because that's what we're talking about right now. All right, Coach, it's about that time to bring us home.
Okay, we did have a few comments in the chat. Someone said, I guess respectful of each other is the key to success in a relationship. And we also has absence make the heart grow fonder. I truly believe that myself. It's not like I did a weekend away with my girlfriends. I just went out and spent some time with a girlfriend, and we went from like 12 to 7 p.m. We were just hanging out, spending money, shopping, enjoying each other, playing catch up. And it was just good time. It was good. It was healthy. It was what I needed at the moment. So when I did get home, it was like, oh, honey, you've been gone all day. Yes. Now it's me and your time. So thank you so much for all your feedbacks and your comments tonight. As always, we love the fact that you show up for Reset every Sunday night at 9, because I know it's a huge sacrifice for each and every one of us, especially the ones that go to work the next day. So as always, we look forward to seeing you guys. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel or our Facebook channel, please subscribe, hit the bell so you can see new content. Until next Sunday night at 9, each and every one of you have a wonderful night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, Gigi. Good night, Annette.
Good night.
See you next Sunday.